Hello and welcome to this installment of the video series for the class History of the United States 530. I'm Phil Dockery, and today's subject is the Methodist Church. This is an interesting assignment because the professor had recommended that we look into the biblical principles of the study of history from Liberty University, and particularly the tenet that the study of history, or the historian as they study history, must be honest and objective as they go through the process of looking at history. And I think that's particularly important to this assignment because we may have certain biases that exist in this assignment and any other assignment or any other study of history that we go through. And it's important that we recognize those and that we're honest with ourselves and objective in our pursuit. Moving on to the Methodist Church, as we know it today, really began in Europe in the 1730s. By 1760, John Wesley and Charles Wesley had brought the concept of the Methodist Church to America. And by 1784, they had chartered the very first Methodist Church. Now, according to David Hart, in his work of the biography, looking at the biography and the shaping of Methodist history, which was published in 2012, he talked about the structure of the church and how it was based upon a desire by Wesley and others to recognize the morality of the people at the present time and to encourage personal morality and holy living. He introduced the essential elements of the Methodist worship, which are still evident today, as I said, and they include publicly reading scripture, preaching the word or the gospel, baptism, the Lord's Supper, corporate prayer, and singing. Singing was particularly important to the Methodist faith. And interestingly, Charles Wesley was tasked with incorporating hymns into the Methodist service. And this was a very important part of the structure of the Methodist Church. In R. Matthew Sigler, in Methodist Worship, Mediating the Methodist Liturgical Heritage, which was published in 2019, particularly talks about the use of hymns in the Methodist service and how important it was to bring people together and to give people a way to praise and worship Christ. In the mid-19th century, the church was recognized for its diversity of its membership, and as a result, they began to focus on areas of American society, particularly the poor and the disenfranchised. By the 1860s, slavery was, of course, a very important issue in America, and the church became deeply involved in history. And as a result, they began to bring Black Americans into the Methodist Church, and they recognized, and possibly for their own gain as a church, they recognized the power of the Black preacher to draw crowds, which of course increased the membership of the church. And so Black Americans became a very important part of the church. In a work called Desegregation and Inclusion, Polity versus Policy, Patricia Dupree recognized that the Black American leadership was very important to the church, and so they were able to begin to be an important part, and it led to many decisions being made by leadership. And as people were recognized in the church, Black Americans were particularly recognized. However, prejudice, of course, existed in the church, and so over time, the church split between white Methodists and Black Methodists, and they actually formed two different sects of the Methodist Church. Now, an area that would be particularly important, I think, for further study would be the study of looking at women in the Methodist Church, because they played a very important role. And I thank you very much. I'm sorry we didn't have more time. Thank you.